This is the journey to one Africa.
Let's make some comments about the Niger situation, about Wagner, and the purported freedom from France. I love the fact that Sahelian countries are taking steps towards their freedom. However, this is a challenging freedom because it's multifaceted. We have the banking system and finance that is linked to France central bank. At least 50% of their money, and I'm talking about their foreign reserves, is in the French banks. And this is how France can take that money and throw it all around different investments and use it to for their own use. And then also we have the military aspect. Unfortunately, some of our leaders invite people over, people who are not there to protect us, to protect our investments. They're there for their own reason. Now, the biggest thing that I'm worried about is this news that's been happening with BRICS, with Russia, and also with Wagner Group. We know just 2 days ago, Prigozhin, the leader of Wagner Group, was found unalive through his plane. Now we know who is most likely responsible for this. I won't state it because I don't have any evidence, but we all know generally, who is likely to have taken care of Prigozhin. Now here's the issue that I say with Africans is we need to only keep the African mentality towards other African people. When I meet an African, I want to know him, his family, his religion, so that I can interact with him as a brother or a sister. We need to stop using that mindset on outsiders. That's one of the problems. Because now that, let's say, Wagner is so-called helping Niger, a lot of Africans keep saying, well, you saw how Nigerians are now putting Russian flags. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong, and this is what I'm talking about. We need to stop doing this thing of projecting our way of doing to people who don't have the same African culture, because what they'll do is they'll use this against us when the time is right, and we'll just keep going in circles. So I'm saying this. We're being,
Yeah. Oh, no. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, we're being controlled by different people, right? BRICS. People kept saying BRICS is great for Africa, and I showed them. I also did a stream on my channel. It is not good for Africa. It's good for the chaos of the world that will allow us to rise because someone is now challenging America. But for us, we must always do something that's Afrocentric. That's all this is. This is good to buy us time, but we are not part of that whole group, and that's what a lot of our people don't understand. The fact that they couldn't even add Africa's largest economy into their system, clearly that this is political. This is not an economic bloc as they keep saying it is. It's a very political one, and I just hope that our people will be able to listen, learn, and challenge these things that they keep doing. We need to stop just believing in everyone. We need to start building ourselves, right? Ethiopia, Tanzania, Kenya, Nigeria. This is where the future is at. This is our continent. This is our culture. This is our beliefs. That's where we need to start focusing on.
Kazoria? Kazoria?
Yeah, shout out.
I love you more, my brother, right now. I mean, I don't know if, like, everything you've said, I believe in 100%, and that's what I've been talking for the past whatever month. I've addressed about BRICS so many times. I said this, and the title of the video is here, that BRICS is a distraction to Africa's unity and Africa's progress. Because now, I mentioned this before, that now there's an idea of having BRICS currents instead of us talking about African currents. That's why. Yeah, exactly. Why? And this is just delaying our progress of fighting for Africa's unity. And what has just happened to the leader Wagner just the other day dying? I spoken even about this. That we always
Russia is now in control of that group.
We always want to jump to another relationship, but we don't really know Africans to be in a relationship. We've always been in toxic relationship, and the problem is because we have not managed to have a good relationship with one another as Africans. If we stick together, if we work on our identities, if we work on our relationship, then it will help us moving forward, making all these other deals with some other groups as we see. But now, if this leader is gone, that means literally like you don't have your savior. Okay, let's say I'm not praying this to happen, but let's say if Russia, just by any case, if it happened that Western they win over Russia, then Africa has failed as well, because we it seems like we're putting our trust on somebody else out to defend us. instead of
100%.
strengthening ourselves to stand against the rest of the world. Because we've never had friends, we don't have friends, we'll never have friends. We are on our own. That's how it has always been. That's how it will always be. And until the moment that we wake up and realize that and start working on ourselves, then we're not gonna see the change. I agree with you 1000%.
This is true, and there's one more sad thing which I noticed. Right, during the Second World War, most of us were we were within colonization, and that meant we had to participate in the war effort with the British, the French, etc. Whichever country colonized us, we were part of their military union, and that forced us into the European tribal warfare too. Right? It's not a world war; it's European tribal warfare too. Right?
Yeah.
So what the issue I have now is this: why are we purposely choosing to put ourselves between two giants, military giants, Russia and America? What we're doing now is inviting that chaos into our continent by choosing sides on something that doesn't actually affect us positively across time. This is the warning that I'm heeding here is like, we have to be extremely careful how we tread this rope, because it's a tight rope and we could fall on each side, because if things escalate in this world, we are choosing a side on people who we know will not go and help us in our time of stress. It's never been that way. The only people who can help us is ourselves. So I say this, I wish that, for example, in Southern African country, SADC, they're now using the South African rand to be doing transactions. Why is this not happening within the EAC yet? Why is this not happening with ECOWAS? These are the steps that we need to be pushing towards, not celebrating a new relationship before healing from the other one and being in a relationship with ourselves. That 100%, as you said.
My brother, like I couldn't agree with you more. Like I literally have nothing to add there, because everything is. I think this is one of the times that we agree on. 1000%. Because I know a lot of time there are things we don't agree on, but this one, man, my brother, I salute you. I feel like I needed that.
I mean, our solutions has to be from ourselves. The moment we are relying on something else is when we allow ourselves to be used as pawns, as puppets. Absolutely. And we don't have power. I keep asking people, okay, this is supposed to be the global south coming against the global north, aka the west, and I keep telling them, do you not think that Russia, China and India cannot sanction another African country? This will happen. They will be doing the same tactics as the West has once they're powerful enough. So why are you helping a group become powerful when you can be creating power from our own selves? That's the part which doesn't make sense.
Absolutely, my brother. I love how you put that. How do you help another group become more powerful, rather than helping yourself, helping each other? And guys, don't say this. Don't say that this assertion is wrong, but prove us wrong. Don't just say that this is about prove us wrong. All right, I have my brother Uchechukwu. He came back here in the session. I appreciate so much, Kaizorian. Uchechukwu, how are you, man?
I'm okay. Good evening from here. Can you hear me now?
Good evening. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. You're calling from Nigeria, right?
Sure. Let
me say, Uchechukwu, it means God's power.
God's willing.
God's willing. All right. God's willing. All right. My best friend, his name is Ikechukwu. So I thought maybe it's the same, but just
we have Ikechukwu and have Uchechukwu. Mine is Uchechukwu.
I love Nigeria. Go ahead, God's willing.
Thank you very much. I love what you are doing, and I wish we Africans can come together as one person, as one body, one soul, one spirit, because the West are using us as if we are nothing. Rather, what they are getting from us is what they are using to develop their place, and they think that we are poor. Okay, what is happening in Niger now is an eye-opening, and I will embrace this. I think the same thing already happened in Burkina Faso. Okay, we also have something like that in Mali and Guinea. Why am I saying this? And the worst thing that this generation will never know what is happening, okay, in their own continent. We not do, okay? They will come to us as brothers and put a division. Brothers will start killing their brothers, and they keep on looting our things because they feel that we can't manufacture anything, and they think that we can come back to them for help, and they feel that we are being slave to them for eternity, which is not supposed to be so. Why am I saying this? Because they are using our leaders that they trained, that they want to support, you know, to make us feel that we are poor. Okay, look at what is happening with ECOWAS. Look at AU. Who organized these groups? Who are the benefactors of these groups? Do you understand what I'm saying? And they are making us to hate ourselves. Brothers killing his own brother because of what? Because of the peanut they're going to give to you. Meanwhile, they don't regard you. As our African brothers that are in Europe, the way they are suffering, you know. So our brothers and sisters left the land of milk and honey. Look at what is happening in the Mediterranean Sea. Our people are dying. Meanwhile, we have every damn thing that will sustain us for eternity. Look at France doesn't have gold. Today, they are the number 4. Look at what is happening here in England. Okay? Whatever thing that we have here, they will come here and put a division in us. And they are clean. If you come out to speak as a leader that doesn't want whatever agreement that they have, they you know, they have put in, they will eliminate you. They have their military base in our own continent. How many Africans have a military base in the West? How many? Let's tell ourselves the truth. It's the hard time that Africans will talk to themselves and say, enough is enough. I condemn whatever thing the ECOWAS is doing, because those leaders there have their own agendas. They sell off their people because they want to answer a good name to their slave masters. I think we should put a stop on this. And this is the time Africa should get up in one voice. What stops us to have one currency in Africa? What stops us as a continent? Look at what is happening in Niger today. Whatever resources they have, France is taking it. You put your money in France. Before you do any project, you go to France. They will manage your resources. They sell your resources. They will not come back to give you as a loan. Why did they form the World Bank? Why? Because they want to keep us in the perpetuality that we cannot even know what is happening. I think that era has stopped. Africa as a continent should get up, and the time to wake up is now. There is no too much thing about it. The time to wake up is now. Look at what is happening in Nigeria. That somebody that won an election is not the person that is on that seat. Because what? The US, the UK, if you don't do this, they are now using Niger now as a backbone to force him to do what he's not supposed to do. Are you there to protect your own brother, or you're there to protect the West? So is it time to African as a continent to come together? I think when we come together, no other world can compete with us in whatever thing that we can think of. I have signed the petition And I feel that every African should sign this petition. It's very, very important, because we know what they know. In our schools now, nobody learn history because they don't want us to know what they have done to us. They don't want us to know the truth. If you have a visa in Europe, you can travel all Europe. Just buy a ticket and you traveled. Why? Because they can do business around their global. Can we do business? Can I do business in South Africa without looking for visa? Or in Kenya without looking for visa? On Burkina Faso without looking for visa? They bring enmity between two brothers. And they hate us. If you travel to Europe, before they will give you that paper, that slave paper, you will suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer.
Guys, the petition we wrote is about One Africa right now. We demand that One Africa, that unity must happen today and not 2063. That's the petition about. The petition that we prepared 2 weeks ago, Africa Right Now, is to demand One Africa right now. We even do hashtag One Africa right now. Because people, we are ready. Africans are ready. In the continent outside of God, we are ready. We are one. We are united. But we need these guys to take all to get all this legal stuff sorted out. In that petition, we say that it is important for African Union to give African Union passport to our African descendants as a gesture of apologizing what they did to them during colonialism. Because we know that they sold our people back to them. So as a gesture of apologizing and repetition, we need them to give African Union passport to our African descendants. Those who want, because those who want, some of them might not want, might want to hold on to whatever passport that they have. We can't force nobody to do something they don't want to do, but we demanded on that. Let me tell you, these are things that we said, okay, this must be done. Let me just show you here for a second for you guys to understand that this is something very important. You must take this serious. I think we haven't been taking serious with this petition. And therefore, until right now, we're still struggling with signatures. We need 100 million signatures, and it is possible to get that, but we haven't been getting that. Look at this. We have 1,325. And let me say this, guys. I reached out to other content creators. I don't want to name here, but I reached out to all of them that you know to share this with them. So it's up to them either to share with the people or not. But I reached out and I shared this. I reached to every single one of them. And I was very specific that, guys, please, if you can sign this, but also share with your community so that we may get these signatures, because this is not my initiative. This is Africa's initiative. When we have One Africa right now, it's not me taking credit. This fight started 60 years ago. It's not a personal thing, and that's another thing. We lack unity. As Africans, we lack unity. We don't have unity in things like this. We have 239 here people watching right now on YouTube Live. If we all give a sign, if we all sign this petition, we'll be somewhere else. And if you guys share with somebody else, invite every single day. You share this. You share every single day. We are going to reach that number because we have a lot of Africans out there who wants Africa to be united. But why do we want to let those who don't want Africa to be united win? And we have initiative that we created. You go and read this petition. Read before you sign. Read to all African heads of states, to African Union and Pan-African Parliament. We have everything here. Scope, problems and recommendation. What we have, look at this. Removal of visa restriction for all Africans in the continent to immediately facilitate the free movement of Africans within the continent in respect of the protocol to the Abuja Treaty 1991. I shared this petition even with PLO Lumumba, professor. All right, another one, prioritizing One Africa passport and availing it to all African citizens and her descendants in the diaspora, the latter of whom were forcibly enslaved by colonizers during the 16th to 19th century, triangular trade as a gesture of apologizing for what was done to them, welcoming them back to the motherland and benefiting from their professional expertise and advanced skills. Champion the open border policy through opening markets and accelerate intra-regional trade opportunities to curb the high unemployment rate amongst the youth in Africa and their unwarranted risk journeys and unhuman death through the Mediterranean Sea. We know how many Africans are dying because of this. We can save this. By this petition, we can save our people. Africans can never be illegal migrants in their own continent. They're not immigrants. They are African. They're not refugees. They're Africans. They're not illegal refugees, because that's what we call them, and then we lock them down in prison. I say this a lot of time. Expose foreign exploitation of Africa's mineral resources while encouraging skilled Africans in the diaspora to participate in finance mobilizing using Africa's minerals and natural resources available within and from the continent. Okay, look at the African Union, AU, to withdraw from receiving partners' funds to sustain its budget and instead exercise its independence by focusing on streamlining revenue collection from member states and African citizens within the continent and diaspora. We can donate to African Union. If all of us, we decide to give $1 every single month, African Union will be able to operate the entire year and work for us and stop receiving money from EU and America and other and other countries out there. Immediate implementation of one African currency, a step toward one Africa solution to African problem with African money. That's what I'm saying, man. That BRICS, yeah, it might be a good idea, but it's not what Africa needs right now. It is not. We need African unity. We need African currency, and then as an African, we can join BRICS. That's what's supposed to happen. You have Chinese there, more than 1 billion point something people. You have Indians. These are countries that are far away from us. If you join us individuals, we ain't gonna bring any change to Africa. I'm telling you guys, we need to join as a continent. Then that's when we can be here. We can have relationship with anyone. But if we're not united, they will take advantage of us. It sounds good, man. I went through that. I went through that summit every single day. I listened to all the speech of all the president of Africa, and I shared all of them on YouTube. Go on YouTube here. We shared all countries. We shared all the speeches that our president shared, all of them. And let me share with you. Let me show you here. You go and watch and listen to this, because it's very important. Why did we share that? Because it's very important to listen. It's very important to hear them out. Let me share with you guys here. Let me share with you. Let me show you here, because you must see this and you must go and watch this. We don't just talk, man. Go and watch this. Here. If you go on our YouTube channel, you go here, go to our channel, see all the videos we uploaded for 3 days straight. All of these are African leaders from BRICS. Do you know how difficult it is? We had to cut, and we're only 2 people who are doing this. 2 people. We had to cut them from the live streams and to edit them and to share them. All of these. Except this one, it was another video of PLO Lumumba. But all of these, look at this, all of these leaders, starting from here, all of this, go and listen to them. Listen to this video. They are on Swahili Nation, all of them. Go and listen to them. Listen to what they're saying. Okay, somebody here, Namibia president, he said, we hope BRICS will not divide like United Nations. That's what the leader of the country says. We hope they did not do this. Like, we hope, man, this is us. And okay, let me show you. Look at this. With BRICS, better life is achievable. All right, that's another leader saying from Lesotho. BRICS is a new global era for Africans. All right. We must rebuild our socio-economic and all this. You see, we are not satisfied with post-colonial. Okay, our aim is to prosper our economy. You can't prosper your economy with somebody else. Trust me. I don't know, man. Like, the reason why we share, because we want you guys to see it, to listen. You can either go and watch like 5 hours long or 8 hours long live stream, or you can watch these short clips of 5 minutes, of 7 minutes, and to understand what these guys are talking about, what our leaders are talking about. Then you'll understand our mindset. I'm not bashing you of anyone, but Africa, we must believe in our ability. We must believe in the resources that God has blessed us with. We must focus in the continent, uniting ourselves and using resources for ourselves. We must have BRICS in Africa, not them. We must have it here. Should not just be excited of all these new ideas. Yes, we can have those partnerships, but priority of Africa should be Africa's unity. That should be priority. Then let BRICS come later. One Africa currency, that should be the priority of Africa. Then BRIC currency, okay, later, you can have that. That's what we are saying. That's what we are saying. Man, I went through BRICS again and again and again, and I had to go through this summit, and I know most of you were watching to really listen that, okay, is it something promising? I don't see anything promising, to be honest. I just see that we need one Africa right now. Okay, AIM, we addressed AIM. This is our petition, guys. AIM, look at this. To urgently set up an immigrant veto system at each boundary crossing point of all respective countries in preparation for animated open borders policy across Africa to collapse the African borders and allow every African holding one Africa passport to traverse freely across the continent as one person without visa requirements. This is the petition to expose illegitimate militarism in Africa and the role armed conflicts, some facilitated by foreign powers, have played and contributed to the climate adversaries on the continent, therefore inhibiting deliberately or otherwise economic development. This is what is happening in Niger. We wrote this point particularly, specifically, addressing to what is happening in Niger. You have a military base in Niger there. What does that tell you? In Djibouti, you have more than 7 different foreign military bases. What does that tell you? In the continent of Africa, you have more than 20 foreign military bases across the continent of Africa. Do you guys have even a single military base somewhere else? What does that tell you? It's a time to put to an end that, but we cannot put it to an end if we don't have a united Africa. To expose institutions, individuals, enemies of Africa, funding terrorism and transitional organized crime that are destabilizing Africa. We know this is what has been happening for over 60 years, guys. Let's get this into our system. Justification. They have everything. I mean, this one I had to cut it down because somebody commented that, oh, this is too long, people are not gonna read. Okay, I was like, all right, okay. I know most of our people, they don't like reading, so we broke it down. But this was much longer than this. We had to break it down a little bit because we want you guys to read, to understand, to sign this petition and to share with people. To have this one African our generation, 100 million signatures is no joke. That shows that Africans are working. Africans, they want one thing. And I know some people, they don't want to share this because they think, oh, this is the Israeli nation thing. Man, you will be very small-minded if you think like that. This is not the time to think like this is an idea of this person, this is an idea of that person. This is the time to think collectively. This is the time for that. And we need that. I've read this. Some of you didn't read this petition. Some of you didn't even know that it's existing, but I've been sharing the entire week on our social media. And you see, it touched everybody. It touched diaspora, it touched African in the continent, because our organization, what we do, it's based from the bottom up. That's what we focus on. So please go and sign right now and share. Read, sit, read, careful, read, sign and share. Share every single day. We need that. We need that. So please do that. And the link is in the comment section. That's what we need for our beautiful continent, man. Otherwise, man, gonna be just making some noises here without seeing anything happen.